What's up, guys? We're back here at Archeworld. Let's talk about the economy, what's going on, and how things are shaken out. So first up, as always, the blue archeum core, which is the most important item in the game currently right now. We can see there's only two actually available on the auction house. So we type in core, we can see all the listings are cores. And let's go take a look at the sales history and see what has happened with this. So interesting enough, yesterday or today, depending on, yeah, it's actually yesterday, there was 58 sales. So the most amount of sales of all time so far. And the price fluctuated between 50 bslt and 300 bslt. So we did see that really cheap archeum core come down, and then when the price of the core got really cheap, people started to buy and to upgrade their gear. Like we talked about this supply and demand. As price goes down, more people want it. And so what happened then is everyone bought it all up. Then today we have 38 sales, and someone sold one as low as 8 and someone as high as 480. So someone paid way more than what they did yesterday. 300 was the top sale. And it looks like that the supply is starting to dry up. There was not many drops that got created yesterday. Did something happen? Did they ban some bots, or did they ban some Chinese gold farmers? Something happened where there wasn't as many blue archeum cores sold, listed on the auction house and sold, versus the prior day. And we know that it's not just like people didn't buy them, because there's none on the auction house. So like every day, if you think about it, the same amount of blue archeum cores is roughly going to be produced from the game every single day. Because even though if your raid is not killing or destroying the bosses and not getting it, generally someone else's raid is destroying the bosses and getting it. So every single day, there's going to be generally about the same amount of archeum cores that are created and put into the game. Some people will actually keep them for themselves. So that could be what happened yesterday, today, is that somebody that got the blue archeum core actually decided to keep it for themselves and to use it on their own character and to progress their character instead of selling it. Other than that, the only thing that I can think of that causes this dramatic spike is that like they banned a bunch of people, and those people were the ones that were farming and then selling it on the auction house. So there's been a lot of talk of like a Chinese guild that's just pure 100% RMT, real money transfer. They farm items, sell items, and so forth. So did that guild end up getting banned? Is that something that has happened? We'll have to see how this shakes out. But the next thing too we want to touch upon is the price is going higher, and people are buying it at a higher price too. So that's kind of shocking. Like someone said that 480 is like, it's a good price. That means that you're not going to see super cheap archeum cores anymore. You're going to see them probably around 300, 350 for a little while. But until this person who bought it for 480 is done upgrading his gear or her gear, they're going to keep buying them around that price. Because like how it works is if someone thinks that 480 is a good deal, they buy it at 480, and then if they see it at 400, they're gonna be like, oh my god, it's 400, I'm gonna buy it at 400 because I paid 480 before. Like they're gonna just keep buying them, and you need a whole bunch of these to upgrade your gears. So this is what you use to progress next, is the gear score goes up because you upgrade your gears. So the next up, let's look at the purple archeum core. And so we're seeing slowly a few people are starting to actually upgrade their gears and go up into tier 5. And so it's about 5, 6. And the reason we're seeing about the same is because, again, it's just those really rich people that are willing to spend 1,000 bslt per each core. When this price goes down, which we're probably going to see because there's actually starting to be a decent amount of supply on the auction house, then more and more people will actually start to upgrade their gear. So over time, all these things will end up becoming cheaper, because as you get higher in level, the higher level players no longer need the blue archeum core, for example. They might need it for a random odd thing here and there, but they don't need a ton of it. And then same thing, once they get higher and stronger, they're not going to need the purple archeum core anymore. Another thing that I want to put a highlight on is this Stone of Rift. So in the economy here, we have a lot of items that are not being used yet. And you have to always think 2 steps ahead of everything. You have to invest for the future. So these guys, these brilliant Stone of Rift, could potentially have more value in the future. Again, this is all speculation. This is all for entertainment purposes. I do not own any of these blue Stone of Rift currently, but I am constantly thinking about what could skyrocket in value in the future, right? So these things are not being used right now, but they're being supplied by the game, because we can take a look at the folio and we can see Stone of Rift. Type in that, type in materials, and we can see what it's used for. So these are the blue ones, these are the purple ones, and this is the yellow ones, the heroic ones. So it's used for ancestral token rank 3. We don't know what that means. So they said every 5 levels you're going to need to use one of these tokens. So we don't know if level 1 you just need this, and then if level 2, ancestral rank 5 you just need that, and then ancestral rank 10 you just need this. We don't know if that's the case because no one's gotten up to ancestral rank number 10 or higher. So we have to make just guesses and assumptions. So the assumption would be that rank 1 requires this. We know that is true because it tells you in your character sheet right here. It says you need ancestral token rank 1 times 1. So in order to get to ancestral rank 1, you need one of those tokens. We don't know if you need this at level 5 or if you just need like 2 of these at level 2 or level 5. Like, we don't know what the future holds for the ancestral ranks. So let's just guess that you need this at ancestral level 15. That would be the bare minimum that you would actually need this. So no one's there, but eventually someone's going to need 2,500 of these brilliant Stones of Rift. And they're also going to need 1 purple archeum core. But they're also going to need 100,000 archeum. And then also a bunch of the Shadagon ores. And these are 3, so they're going to need 3. So they're going to need a lot of high-end materials. But the fact that they need 2,500 of the gold ones is really, 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 really a lot. Collecting 2,500 of anything is hard to do. And so let's see what's next up here. So then we have unique ones, and that one you need 5,000. So there's no unique ones that have been dropping, but that one you need 5,000 to upgrade. So let's keep looking and see what else the Stone of Rift is used for. So it's also used, 6 of them, for the Master's Awakening Scroll. And no one is really here yet. This is tier 6 gear. But once again, you need a lot of other expensive things. You need a heroic core, you need 6 of these, you need 5, which are arcane infusions, which are nothing, and then you need 1 crystal that is heroic. And that is about everything that you need this material for. You do use it also for illustrious lucky scrolls. So this, you need 10 of them, and this will allow you to reroll your stats, your bonus stats on your items. So I could see people doing this to make their items with better stats and more correctly what they want. It is quite expensive though. You need a blue crystal and then a couple other rare mats. And then other than that, there's nothing else. So the main focus and the reason these gold ones are cheap right now, the heroic ones, is because no one needs them. You have to figure out when someone will actually need these. And when they need them, they're going to need a lot of them. So the smarter people are buying them when they're cheap. And some people may say that this is cheap, 0.09. But you have to realize it's got as low as 0.03. Yesterday got as low as 0.01, 0.025, 0.03. So these can go cheaper. These can definitely become a lot cheaper. 0.03, 0.01, 0.02. And no one needs them for, I'm going to say, at least probably 2 months. If ancestral level 15 is the real reason that you need these, and if it's higher than ancestral level 15, then no one's going to need them for probably 6 months, maybe 4 months, 5 months. So if that's the case, in any of these items that no one needs, you want to wait until right before someone needs it, because that's when you're going to get a price spike. So if someone starts to need 2,500 of these guys, even if it's just one person, if one person needs 2,500, we can buy 50, 50, 60, 2020. Let's see how many. There is 500 right there. There's 1,200. So you can see there's one person who bought up a whole bunch and just tried to resupply everything, try to sell it. So pretty much one person could buy the entire auction house of these guys, and they would get their 2,500 that they need. And it would only cost them 0.1 per. So it's not that big of an investment. What will happen, and when there's a massive price spike, is when there's multiple people that will actually be having a need for this. So one person's not an issue. But when like 10 people need 2,500 of these things, they're all fighting over the same items. That's when you could see a spike up to like 1 bslt per each, for example, because there's so many people that are requiring this. And it's supply and demand. The more people that need it, the more demand that there is for it. There better be more supply. If there's no more supply of it, then the price is going to go up. All right, so let's take a look at logs and lumber and things like that. So logs are at 0.2. You always want to check the basic stuff as well to see if there's any kind of free money out there. So logs into lumber. Lumber is 1.2 roughly. So that means if you craft them, you can make a 0.2 profit, but then you lose 10%. So you're still making that 0.8 profit. It's not terrible for buying the logs into lumber. It's like this is a way to actually make a little bit of money. Obviously, you would want to get these a little bit cheaper. You want to buy them a little bit cheaper. So what you would do is you would just sit here on the auction house, refresh the page, and wait for some cheaper logs to appear, because you will find cheaper logs. If we take a look at the sales history, we can see that the lowest log sale price is 0.00089 today. So if you bought all the logs at 0.00089 and you converted them up into lumber, you could actually make a really, really nice profit. And that's why some people are actually making a good amount of BSLT by just flipping items on the auction house and playing the auction house. Even if you didn't use any labor, if you bought all the logs at that 0.0008 BST and then you sold them for 0.02, you've over doubled your money on that. Like, that's a good investment. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any other questions or comments about the economy and how things are shaking out, let me know down below.